Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's B. Avery here for another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And with this episode, we are doing another box office breakdown to where we are running down the numbers. And let's go ahead and get into it because I have a lot of exciting things that I want to talk about. Let's go ahead and look at the top five. And yes, it did. The Lion King is coming in at number one with $191 million. Its opening weekend. That's freaking fantastic. 191,770,759 dollars in its opening weekend. It's in a ton of theaters and 4,725 theaters. That's a hell of a ton. I don't even know how many. I'm going to check how many theaters Avengers Endgame opened up with. It had a $40,586 theater average, and like I said, this is its first week of release. And not only, it didn't make 200 million. It's falling right in line with studio projections. You know, they were saying that it could make anywhere from 160 to 200 million. And this is perfectly fine. But as far as domestically or not domestically, or that's what we're talking about right now, of course, as far as opening in 2019, it's at number two. The only film that has beaten The Lion King this year on this opening weekend is, of course, Avengers Endgame at $357 million. That's not even close, but 191 is still real good. So, that's a nice feat right there for The Lion King, second opening weekend for 2019. And as far as opening weekend of all time, it's number 8. Of course, Avengers Endgame is 357, Infinity War is 257, Star Wars The Force Awakens is 247, but The Lion King right there is 191. And also, if you look at this, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the top 8 are all Disney films. So that's just amazing. And if you look at the top 10, if you look at the top 13, if you look at the top 13, 12 out of the top 13 are all Disney films, so that's just pretty cool right there, I think, at least. But yeah, and what is The Lion King doing right now internationally? Well, they brought in another $259 million. So internationally, it's looking at 351. Technically, this is the second opening weekend internationally because it first debuted in China last week. But worldwide, this is at $543 million. That's freaking crazy. $500 million in its first full week of release. $543,613,160. Now, this is well warranted. Of course, The Lion King is a beloved film of all time. I really did enjoy it. Everybody that saw the film pretty much enjoyed it. But let me look at this real quick. What did the original Lion King make back in 1994? It brought in $968 million, $968.5 million. The Jungle Book 2016 came right before that. So, that's pretty cool right there. I think that The Lion King will be in the $1 billion club. I think it would also be in the two. Possible. Let's see here. First of all, I want to know, has it opened in every territory across the world? Because that will have a big determining factor. Of course, it opened in the two largest territories, the United States here, domestic, and China. And when I'm scrolling down my list, the only territories it has not opened in is Hong Kong, Madagascar, Venezuela, Japan, and Italy. Opens in Italy August the 21st, Japan August the 9th. I think it could get anywhere from $10 to $20 million in Japan. Venezuela and Madagascar is July 31st, and Hong Kong is July 25th. So, should be able to get a little bit more extra change out of those territories right there. It's going to make the $1 billion club. Question is, will it make the $2 billion club? It has a chance. We're just going to see, but it's also, I'm going to call it and say yes. But we're just going to have to see, guys. We're just going to have to see. Coming in at number 2 on the top 5, we have Spider-Man Far From Home at $21 million, $21,202,000 $21,202,431. I'm sorry, $21,202,431. It had a 53.3% drop in its third week of release. It launched 219 theaters. Now, the budget for that film was $160 million. Now, we also have some new information, guys. We also have a marketing budget. I'll talk on that in just a second because I'm happy. I'm happy about Spider-Man, not that marketing budget. And so right now, foreign, internationally, it's looking at $651 million, and with a worldwide total of $970 million. It hasn't quite hit the $1 billion club yet. And domestic right now it's at $319 million. Now, overall, the worldwide number is ultimately what matters. But at the same time, I do want Spider-Man Far From Home to at least beat Spider-Man Homecoming domestically. And it hasn't done that yet, and I'm pretty confident that it will. But right now, if you're looking at the screen, Spider-Man Far From Home is at 319 domestically, while Spider-Man Homecoming is 334. Now, it's not going to reach the 403 million that the first original Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi, did in 2002. But, I don't want any indication of any Spider-Man fatigue in any territory. And, I think it'll be, even though it's the most successful Spider-Man film right now, at 970 million, Spider-Man 3 did 890. So it's coming up to $100 million more. I still want it to be the worldwide, internationally, and domestically, just on all fronts, just for record's sake, but I'm pretty sure it will be. But right now it's looking at number 5 as far as domestic is concerned. But of course, worldwide, 971. Spider-Man 3 is 890. So, it's going to hit $1 billion. It's the most successful Spider-Man film. I don't know as far as financially, because let's go back to this real quick. So, the rule of 3 over here, you have to make at least 3 times the production budget for the studios to say that the film made a respectable profit, because at least 33%, a third of the box office sales, goes to the theater/theater owners. Then you have your production budget that you have to subtract, then your marketing budget. Now, what I do like about the business of Spider-Man Far From Home is the production budget was cheaper than Homecoming. Homecoming was $175 million. Spider-Man Far From Home was $160 million. That's cool. So if we take $160 million times 3, the film needed to make at least $480 million worldwide for them to say, on average, it's a respectable profit. Now, it's important because I said on average, because we don't always know what the marketing budget will be. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why it's on average, because usually studios spend a reasonable amount on marketing. They don't balloon their marketing budget like they did with Spider-Man Far From Home at $288 million. That is insane. That is like record. That is the most expensive marketing campaign for any movie in cinematic history. That is a fact. You can check it out with all of the trades and all of the reliable film outlets online. I mean, that is more than they spent with Avengers Endgame on marketing. I think Avengers Endgame was maybe like 250, 260. So usually the marketing budget won't balloon that much higher than the production budget. It can. For example, Wrinkle in Time. Wrinkle in Time's production budget was $103 million. Wrinkle in Time's production was $103 million. The marketing budget was $125 million. I remember I got that information from IGN. I mean, you can get it from a number of reliable sources. Or the Venom movie, that was usually that was $100 million production budget. Maybe the marketing would be like another $100 million. You know what I'm saying? And so I say that because the rule of 3 thing is just because on average studios don't just go bonkers with their marketing. But this right here, man, $480 million. $288 million. That's just insane. So let's just say right now, the theatrical run for Spider-Man Homecoming was no more. So we're gonna round up and just say $972 million. Okay. So we're going to times 0.67. So $651 million is what they will have left over. Minus 288 minus 160. So they would have profited about $200 million, $203 million. Did I do that right? It's not an exact figure. It's not an exact dollar amount. But, you know, right now, if it just stopped right now, they will possibly profit around $200 million. If you have any more valuable insight, please put it down in the comment section below. You know, also, you know, the actor and actress's salary is included in the production budget, that $160 million, except for back-end deals. Which is not the case all the time. But Spider-Man Far From Home is doing fine. It's right there, about to cross $1 billion. I'll make another video once it does later on this week. I'm pretty sure this time next week it will be, but you may see me come back in the middle of the week to talk about it reaching the $1 billion club. And also, you know, that deal that was released a week ago or two about how it needs to do that so Disney Marvel Studios can co-produce another solo Spider-Man film. But Spider-Man Far From Home right now is doing pretty good at the box office. Coming in at number 3 right now, is in the top 5, is Toy Story 4, bringing in another $15 million. $15,551,086. It dropped 25.8%, which is pretty good. Right now, it's still in 3,700 theaters. It lost 460, and it's in its 5th week of release. And so domestically right now it's at $376 million. The budget for that film was $200 million. So, you know, that's 600 million times that by 3, you know, so, you know, that's doing great right there. Now, as far as it's being compared to Toy Story 3, you know, in the Toy Story Shootout, it's doing just fine. And the 31st day of release, Toy Story 4 is at $376 million domestically, while Toy Story 3 is at $362. And so, you know, it's doing great domestically. If you look at the weekend to weekend, it won this past weekend against Toy Story 3, 15 million versus 11 million. It lost last weekend, but not by much. But that really doesn't matter. Even if you look at the day-to-day, between these two films, Toy Story 4 is coming through much stronger. Now, Toy Story 3 is at the $1 billion club. Toy Story 4 is not just yet. Right now, if you look worldwide, Toy Story 4 is at $861 million, $861,206,047. Now, that's okay. I think it still will reach $1 billion and surpass Toy Story 3. One, because of domestic, it's already winning. Another thing, there are still 11 territories around the world that Toy Story 4 has not opened in, which is Slovakia, Lithuania, Poland, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Norway, Madagascar, Togo, and Tunisia. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these open in August, another 2 in September, 1 in November, 1 in December, and 1 in January. So I'm not saying that, of course, it's going to be $20 million from each of these countries, these territories. No, I'm not saying that. You know, 1 or 2 of these may only get $1 or $2 million, while another 2 or 3 or 4 may get 10 to 15. But every dollar counts, of course. We're trying to make the $1 billion club for Toy Story 4. We're trying to make it past Toy Story 3. Doesn't affect me only as far as my entertainment is concerned, because if these films keep making money and surpassing their predecessor, the studios will continue to make these, and, you know, we won't have to have some giant shift in Hollywood and, you know, all of our lives fall apart. No, of course, I'm just kidding there. But right now, I think so. Let me look at this real quick. No, we'll save that towards the end. But Toy Story 4 is doing just fine at the box office right now. Coming in at number 4 in the top 5 is Crawl. It brought in another $6 million, $6,095,561. It dropped 49.2%. It is in 3,100 theaters. It is in its 2nd week of release. Now, the budget for this film was $13.5 million, which is very, very cheap. That's really, really good. So if we take, 13.5 times 3, That is $40.5 million. And so right now worldwide, Crawl is at $33 million. And so, it just needs to make 40 million. Just make 40 million. That's a lot of money. But 40 million, it needs to make $40 million. So studios can say it broke even or made a profit, and it didn't lose money or anything like that. It's a good movie, guys. The review for it is on my channel right now. So please subscribe and go check that out. And again, there's a freak ton of territories that has an opening. I mean, like a lot. Like France, Sweden. I'm not gonna, name all of them, but I could. France, Sweden, Argentina, Finland, Poland, Belgium, Philippines, Mexico, Italy, Vietnam, Germany, Denmark, UK, Russia, Spain, UK, Ireland, India, Lithuania, Hong Kong, Brazil, and Japan. And these are spanning all the way from July the 24th, so Wednesday, all the way to October the 11th. So I think Crawl will be just fine at the box office. But yeah, go check out the film, guys. It was very entertaining. And then closing out the top 5, we have Yesterday, bringing in $5,020,835. It dropped 25.2%. It is in its 4th week of release. It's doing pretty well. It's nearly at $100 million. It's a $98 million off of a $26 million budget. So there's a $78 million. 26 times 3 is $78 million. That's what it needs to make for the profit. And it's at $98 million worldwide. And that was a good film too, guys. Cause, go check that out. But let's close out the top 10 real quick. Coming in number 6 is Stuber at 4.1 million. Coming in at number 7 is Aladdin, bringing in $4,085,424. Of course, we got to give Aladdin some more attention. The budget was 183, so it's well over that as far as profit is concerned. But man, right now worldwide it is at $989 million. It is less than $11 million short of reaching the $1 billion club, and I wanted to so bad, and I think it will. How much did it bring in? It brought in $4 million, and so it definitely will within the next month or so. We're just gonna have to see. But I really can't wait for this to come out on Blu-ray 4K, because I just want to jam it and sing it at home and act all silly and all that good stuff. I'm going to buy the hell out of it. Dumbo. What are you doing? Coming in at number 8 is Annabelle Comes Home. Coming in at number 9 is Midsummer. And coming in at number 10 is The Secret Life of Pets 2. Now, it didn't make the top 10, but that's okay. It made the top 11. What film is that? It is Avengers Endgame at number 11. Bringing in another $1.5 million, $1,514,741. It dropped 28%. Right now it's at 985 theaters. It dropped 458. It's in its 13th week of release. And why am I talking about this film? It didn't make the top 10, but worldwide right now, it is at $2,790,591,417, making Avengers Endgame the highest grossing film worldwide of all time. Anyway, that's what's up, y'all. And I'm happy. I am. I just like records being broken. It has surpassed Avatar. I could have sworn Avatar was at $2,788,000,000 this whole time, but now it's bumped up to 789. But Avengers Endgame is at 2,790,000,000. So James Cameron is over there upset like. Yeah, I know. He's a little butthurt, man. And James Cameron is one of my, the director of Avatar. He's one of my favorite directors of all time. He has a literally perfect record in all of his films. He did The Abyss. He did Aliens. He did True Lies. He did Terminator 1 and 2. He did Titanic, and he did Avatar. So I can't wait for Avatars 2, 3, 4, and 5 to come out. Those gonna be $3 billion films. I mean, I don't know. I think it will, but Avengers Endgame is number one of all time, 2.790. Avatar is 2.72. Goodness gracious, 2.790. And Avatar is 2.789. I can't read numbers for some reason. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in to my box office breakdown. That is just my opinion. What did you think about these box office numbers? Did you expect this to happen, or did you have no idea, no clue whatsoever? Let me know down in the comment section below. Let's get this conversation going and keep it flowing. If you like this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up. Also, consider subscribing and look me up on social media. But guys, I just want to thank you again for tuning in to my opinion/review/reaction for these box office numbers. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.